You're scrolling through Instagram at 2 a.m., and suddenly you see your high school classmate buying their third house while you're eating ramen noodles. Your stomach drops. Your mind starts racing. Sound familiar? What if I told you that this feeling isn't a character flaw, isn't about lacking confidence, and definitely isn't something you can just get over? What if I told you it's actually hardwired into your brain for survival? And here's the crazy part. Your brain is literally getting a drug-like hit from making these comparisons even when they make you feel terrible. By the end of this video, you'll understand the fascinating science behind why you can't stop comparing yourself to others, and more importantly, how to use this knowledge to actually improve your life. Let's dive in. First, let me blow your mind with this statistic. Scientists have discovered that a staggering 10% of your daily thoughts, that's roughly 1,600 thoughts per day, involve comparing yourself to someone else. But here's where it gets really interesting. In 2023, researchers found that 89% of people engage in online comparisons with others, and among Gen Z, 59% compare themselves to others online every single day. Think about that for a second. Nearly 9 out of 10 people are constantly measuring themselves against others online. But why? Why can't we just focus on our own lives? The answer lies in a discovery made by a psychologist named Leon Festinger in 1954, and it's going to change how you think about your own mind forever. Picture this. You're living 50,000 years ago in a small tribe. There's no grocery store, no safety net, no social media to scroll through when you're bored. Your survival depends entirely on your position within the group. The person who could hunt the biggest mammoth got the best food. The person with the most social connections got protection. The person who could read social hierarchies correctly, well, they lived to pass on their genes. So your brain evolved this incredible social comparison system. It became a survival supercomputer, constantly scanning. Who's stronger than me? Who has more resources? Who's more popular? Where do I rank? And here's the kicker. This system was so crucial for survival that it's still running in your brain today, 24/7. Even though you're not competing for mammoth meat anymore, you're comparing yourself to someone's Instagram highlight reel. But the story gets even more fascinating when we look at what's actually happening inside your brain during these comparisons. Scientists put people in brain scanners and watched what happens during social comparison. What they found was absolutely mind-blowing. When you compare yourself to someone who's doing better than you, what researchers call upward comparison, your brain's reward center, specifically the ventral striatum, literally shuts down. It's the same neural response as if you just lost money or experienced physical pain. But when you compare yourself to someone doing worse than you, downward comparison, that same reward center lights up like a Christmas tree. You get a literal dopamine hit from feeling superior. Now here's where it gets really crazy. Remember how I mentioned dopamine? Most people think dopamine is just a feel-good chemical, but neuroscientists discovered something shocking. You get way more dopamine during the chase, during the comparison process itself, than you do from actually achieving your goals. This means your brain is literally addicted to the act of comparing itself to others. Even when those comparisons make you feel terrible, your brain keeps going back for more because it's chasing that dopamine hit. Now, enter social media, the most potent comparison-triggering technology ever created. Think about it. Our ancestors compared themselves to maybe 50, 100 people in their entire tribe. You're comparing yourself to thousands of people every single day. And here's the worst part. You're comparing your behind-the-scenes reality to everyone else's highlight reel. But social media companies know exactly what they're doing. They've weaponized your brain's comparison system with something called variable reward schedules, the same principle that makes gambling so addictive. Every time you scroll, you might see something that makes you feel good about yourself, or something that makes you feel terrible. Your brain doesn't know which it's going to get, so it keeps scrolling, chasing that next dopamine hit. The result? Recent studies show that people who engage in more upward social comparisons on Instagram show increased depressive symptoms, and those with more depressive symptoms compare themselves even more. It's a vicious cycle. Okay, so now you know the truth. You're not weak for comparing yourself to others. You're human. Your brain is literally designed to do this. But here's the empowering part. Once you understand the mechanism, you can actually reprogram it. Here are 3 science-backed strategies that actually work. Strategy number 1, the gratitude rewire. Researchers found that people who write down 5 things they're grateful for every day literally rewire their brains. Instead of your brain automatically scanning for what others have that you don't, it starts scanning for what you already have. The key is to be specific and not repeat items. Instead of, "I'm grateful for my family," try, "I'm grateful that my mom texted me a funny meme this morning." Strategy number 2, the time shift comparison. Instead of comparing yourself to other people, compare yourself to your past self. Ask yourself, how am I different from who I was a year ago? What have I learned? What have I overcome? This works because it satisfies your brain's need for comparison while actually making you feel better about your progress. Strategy number 3, the curated feed audit. Unfollow accounts that consistently make you feel bad about yourself. I know, you're worried about being rude. But here's the thing. Your mental health is more important than someone's follower count. Follow accounts that inspire you to grow, not accounts that make you feel inadequate. Your social media feed is one of the few things in life you have complete control over. Use that power. Here's what I want you to understand. The urge to compare yourself to others isn't going away. It's part of being human. But you can choose how you channel that energy. Some of the most successful people in history were masters at social comparison. They just used it differently. Instead of comparing themselves to feel bad, they compared themselves to find mentors, to identify skills they needed to develop, to find inspiration for their next goal. The person you saw on Instagram with their third house? Instead of feeling bad about yourself, ask, what skills do they have that I could learn? What path did they take that I could adapt for my own life? Transform comparison from a source of pain into a source of information. Your brain is going to compare anyway. Might as well make it work for you instead of against you. So here's your challenge. For the next week, every time you catch yourself comparing yourself to someone else, pause and ask, is this an upward comparison that's making me feel bad? How can I turn this into useful information for my own growth? Remember, you have a Stone Age brain living in a digital age world. The fact that you're aware of this makes you more evolved than 99% of people who are still unconsciously trapped in the comparison cycle. You're not broken for comparing yourself to others. You're human. Now you just have the tools to be a more conscious, intentional human. If this video changed how you think about comparison, smash that like button, subscribe for more psychology content that actually helps, and comment below. What's one thing you're going to stop comparing yourself to others about?